was born in 1958, and I remember the 60s and the civil rights movement as a young person. And I find, in lieu of the protests of today, I think a lot of the fuel is anger and frustration and the lack of government representation for the people. And a lot of people are out of work, and Black Lives Matter movement. There were a lot of African Americans who have lost jobs and have time. You know, I can see in perspective that protesting, as a more mature person, that I see it in my reality and world, it's not as effective a solution, medicine for what's going on in the world. Some of the problems are long-term, economic, attitudinal, and a lot of things have to happen on a grassroots level, on a community level, in order to make change. And a lot of what people are doing is destroying their neighborhoods and stealing from other neighborhoods. So I don't feel that, like in the 60s, this is the right approach. But I find the lack of education to be one of the problems, and the lack of good information, the lack of people being able to analyze information to be a problem. By the way, I just want to say I have an MPA. Okay, so I look at public policy probably with those eyes. I'm also a recreation therapist, so I look at life satisfaction. I'm also a teacher by life satisfaction. I would say the short answer is no, but the long answer is that it changed my perspective. And I'm not as happy living in New York. I'm not as happy living in this country the way it is. I'm very disappointed in the leadership, the way it's responded to COVID and to the communities of color. And I believe happiness is something you decide, okay, in a psychic point. But I feel unhappy for all the different subgroups that it's affected differently, worse in many ways than it's affected me, because I'm retired. And I find it's affected my hope and belief that this country is going to get better. I feel under Trump, and the governor is not the problem, the mayor is worthless. I feel that I don't see it getting better, I see it getting worse. So I'm unhappy to see that, and I'm unhappy to say I realize that, and then I'm unhappy to say that I see that as the situation. In my personal life, I feel like I've returned to nature a lot, to the beauty of belonging to that, because I don't really feel like I belong to this way of being human in the way people are treated in this country. I really have a lot of disappointment in the way Americans treat each other, you know, and the narcissism, and in the media too, the models, the role models, the social structure, the family, and a lot of other things. But I'm unhappy to see the direction of the country. And I think it brought me back to some spiritual place in myself to say, you know, I could make some changes in being the best person that I can. But when I look back at my career and a lot of the things that I've done, and coming from my family and so on, that there's only so much I can do as one person. But I'm also tired of, and I'm pointing to the mayor's marriage, I'm tired of people who actually are destructive to the city in the seat and in the power and authority of being a mayor. And I'm tired of seeing that in the psychopathology of people in government and the president. So I think I'm unhappy with the poor leadership and how much damage these people are doing. And I feel it's very sad, because it's almost like, you know, we're all living on a ship, but these people are burrowing holes in the ship, and people who have empathy are adding kindness to the world, but that alone is not going to remedy and band-aid the economic disparities and the better-than attitudes that people have. So I feel that a lot of the illusions that I had of what it meant to be an American and to live in a diverse country, it's so fake the way the Constitution is being treated and people are being maltreated, and I feel it's very phony, very self-serving, very corporate America. So I'm unhappy with the direction of the country, but my personal happiness in a way hasn't changed, because that's a different drawer. And I think you have to live, I'm 62, I think you have to live life in the sense that you take charge of your own life. But that doesn't mean you can change the world or redress the wrongs of President Trump and politicians' response to things and their incompetencies or whatever, incompetencies. So it's a long question, but I think it's very important to stay happy with your own life, even though that might seem compartmentalized.